are at the first day, or this day zero of mystery school this year, where we gather all together in the modern Florence. So that's literally where we're all getting to sit right now, which is a pretty remarkable thing to experience and to be here and to know what's coming over the next few days. But we are all here every single week, getting on these calls, being here because we see the state of the world. We understand something at the very core needs to change. We understand surface level solutions aren't going to do it, so we're gathering. And that is what this week is all about. This is the crossing. This is the mystery school. This is a once a year event where we are live with Dr. Marc Gafni for 5 days. And you, person sitting on the other side of the screen, have the opportunity to be there online. Sign up. You will also get replays. So even if you can't be there live on time when we're live streaming, you can watch the replays after every single day. And this is one of those weeks where you can go all the way, because you'll be sitting with Dr. Marc Gafni, getting the teachings from the ground all the way to wherever we're taken in this week, which is going to be the next steps in the Dharma. We hope to have you there. Click the link. And yeah, today's teaching is going to be a deep dive into codes of desire. And before we get into that, I'm going to pass my word to Krista Josepha, who will set the intention.
Thank you. Thank you, Eli, for that beautiful introduction and beautiful invitation for everyone to join here live. And Eli spoke also about who are we? What does it mean to be these people that actually are responding to the existential risks that are happening in our world right now? And so to set our intention, I think I mostly want to invite us to open up that feeling space. Like, how does that feel in our body? And especially also kind of share with everyone that's online here what it feels like to be in an embodied space. And maybe just imagine sitting here with all the other people from across the world, other erotic mystics, evolutionary mystics that are also willing to go all the way in this lifetime, that are willing to live our lives for the sake of a larger whole. So we're not only living our own personal lives for our own satisfaction, which is also part of the journey, but we're constantly making that intention for the sake of the larger whole. And to feel that in our body, and for myself, I can feel the trembling that is in my body, and that is also kind of in the room. And I feel the nervousness, but it's like a beautiful shaking, shimmering excitement and nervousness. And it's like, I feel like we are visiting the queen, the king or the queen. And we are literally visiting he and she, the god and the goddess. And of course, the entire cosmos already knew that we were going to come together here in this room today and tomorrow and in the next 5 days. And so she has been waiting for us to welcome us here. And this room is already alive with so much presence and so much love and so much, like Dr. Marc Gafni says, there's a welcome home sign in the cosmos. And so there's a huge welcome home sign that is written all over, not only the walls, but like all over the fabric of cosmos, like the inside of the inside. It's like, welcome home. Welcome home, welcome home. And so we're literally right now, we're sitting in the God house. We're sitting in the temple of Jerusalem, the temple that was destroyed, but the temple that was never destroyed, because it is the invisible temple. It is the temple that lives inside our heart. And that's a temple that can never be destroyed. And that is always holding us and always nourishing us with this beautiful, beautiful, what we are calling this field of Eros, this field of desire that we're going to talk about today, which is this sacred energy that is holding us, that is carrying us through the storm, through these times of metacrisis. And as we always say here, crisis is an evolutionary driver. So we are walking through the crisis, but we are also allowing ourselves to, I want to say, to be aroused by it, but like aroused in the sense of to arouse our political will, to arouse our power, to arouse our body, to arouse our hearts, and to say, yes, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Hineni, hineni, as we say, I am here to serve the larger whole. Use me, I'm here. And so right now we're all here in this room together because we are called to be here. There was a calling in our hearts that called us to be in this room. And everyone here online, you are also in this room because you were called to be here, to allow ourselves to know that it is true that each and every one of us here is meant to be here, is called by life itself to take your seat. There's literally a seat for you that would remain empty if you don't take it, that would remain waiting for you, that would continue calling you. And literally the fabric of the mystery school is incomplete without you. And literally we cannot do what we need to be doing, which is changing the source code of reality itself, if you are not here. If you did not listen to that calling and showed up and took your place, then the puzzle is incomplete, and we're just going to be sitting here waiting for you until we can raise the whole thing. So that's important. That's how important each and every one of us is. We're not extra on the set, as Marc always says. We're not an accident. We're not a mistake. It's not like, shall I go? Shall I not go? No, we belong here. We are the Renaissance. We are the people that we have been waiting for. And for me, it's insane to even dare to allow myself to believe that. And I think we all have so many resistances, like Kristina also spoke about. And for me, I was talking to Christina Kincaid the other day, and she was inviting me to see a part of my role in the center is editing the books and working on the books that Marc Gafni is now writing. And I always feel insecure about that. And I always feel like it's kind of a side job. Like I do all these other things, but I'm doing that as well. But I realized that part of me was feeling so insecure about it. And I wasn't really owning my power in it. And I wasn't owning my smartness and my brilliance and my wisdom in it, that actually I'm really good at editing Marc's text. And so she was inviting me to actually feel that and embody that and dare to say that, like, I'm actually really smart. and that's the encouragement for all of us. Like, we sit here with, we come in here with all of those resistances, and that's what we're calling Homo armor. And we're invited to make that shift from Homo armor to Homo Amor, to allow all of those little pains and old stories and contractions and worries, like, am I smart enough? Am I good enough? But right now, I just want to also allow us to feel that, to allow us to just sit here like this, like, I don't know if I'm smart enough. And because we don't need to, we can just be where we are. And so to close this intention setting, I actually want to chant another song, and then I will turn it to you, Kristina. But the intention is to evoke the goddess of love, to evoke the field of outrageous love. So feel yourself sitting in the God house, in the temple. You were invited by the king, queen of the universe to come down to planet Earth and lead in this revolution from your unique power. So we're evoking the love of the goddess. Check it, Nidaya, ire were were, now show, ire were were, now show, ire were nidaya. Chakini ba nita shu cheke nita ya ire were. Maybe just feel how the goddess has been waiting to welcome us here. were were ni ta shu. Ire were were. Ire were were ni ta shu. Ire were were ni ta ya. Oshakini ba ni ta shu. Cheke 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 ni ta ya. Ire were were. Kristina.
Wow. I'm a bit speechless. Hello, everyone. First of all, let's wave. I did get the opportunity to see the people sitting in the castle, so this wave is more than virtual. So if you're not at the castle at Mystery School, just feel the wave happening across the globe. And welcome, everyone. We certainly are all over the globe. And so one quality that's been happening here the whole day is this invitation to cross over from Homo sapiens to Homo Amor and to feel that desire in our body in the deepest, most profound way. And thank you so much, beautiful, gorgeous, talented, wise, smart Krista Josepha, for deepening that whole feeling with your words and with your chanting, and also Eli for the same thing. So what a team we have right here at One Mountain, Many Paths, and all the areas of the Center for World Philosophy and Religion. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes, and I'm just feeling so deeply moved by all the talent and all the commitment that is happening. So take a breath. Let's just dive deeper into the felt sense of being here now together and feel us landing more deeply inside of this movement, this moment in our bodies, in mattering. We are here for contact. And as my beloved teacher and master and lineage holder of cosmoerotic humanism, Dr. Marc Gafni, teaches, Eros means contact. And so I do expect that we all are feeling an ever deeper sense of aliveness as this One Mountain, Many Paths unfolds today. And as our presence is being sort of called, our attention called to pay ever more attention to all the little bits going on behind the scenes, here in front of the scenes. And so just keep feeling that in your body. And maybe you even have a feeling, I do, of like I'm going to explode or burst into tears or laughter or something. So this contact is happening, and it's happening as I just spoke, and also between my voice and your listening, and it's happening between your body and this moment, and it's happening between us, each of us, and also something more, the infinite intimate, the mystery, the cosmos. And so let's just feel that. And while you're feeling that, if you have access to the chat box, and I know some of us don't, but some of us do. So those of us who do, I want to pull forward this capacity of the chat box, and I want everyone to write, I am here. I am here. We're here. We're alive. We came from stardust, from infinity to this very moment. And how incredibly magical is that? This is so incredible. And so just a little bit about me while you're all writing that. Sherry, Lynn, Joycey, hi Joycey, Jerry, Stana, Terry Nelson, Hello, Angel. I am here. Cassius, Gabby, Gabby, Mark, Kirsten, Emil. Oh, I love this. All right, we are here together. Let us just hold hands before I move into this next little section. We are here together. And even though it's some of us are virtual and some of us are not, there is a way that this felt sense is building in our intimacy. So that is both literal and figurative of how the mystical realms work in all of this and what we're doing. And so for me, all of this is very personal, right? I have lived inside of outrageous love, and I do often. And also, I have lived and do live inside of outrageous pain. I've stood at the edge of my own life and asked if it mattered. I bet all of us have at one point or another, or maybe we still do. And I bet all of us also have heard an answer. Do we matter? And maybe the answer isn't in words or some action that happens in our lives, but in a feeling in our bodies that we do matter infinitely and that we are eavesdropping on the infinite, intimate thinking us. How profound is that? And sometimes it feels like the universe is leaning in so close it can barely contain itself inside our lives. Like, wow, wow. And we are at the place now where it breaks open into form. Here we are. Here we are. And the intimacy is growing and it's building. And so I'm here because I could not turn away. And we are here because something in us refuses to live a half life, right? And somewhere along the way, for me, I realized something subtle and fierce that the quality of my life is indeed directly shaped by the clarity of my desires. And so, why does desire matter? Well, we indeed are living in a profound moment of change. I don't know about you guys, but it's shocking the levels at which the change is happening. Like the culture wars are happening inside my friend groups, inside my family groups. It's no longer just out there in culture. It is everywhere. And so she is trembling ecologically, technologically, culturally, and we all feel it in our bodies, a kind of ache, a kind of longing, a kind of unfinished sentence, right? What is real? What matters? What do we actually want? What is worth living for? What is worth giving our lives for? And I think that each of us that are here understand the brilliance of Dr. Marc Gafni and the master we have in front of us that leads us and loves us and offers us support and this invitation to step ever more deeply into this lineage of cosmoerotic humanism and to hold this lineage as lineage masters. And here we are in that. So global risks do require global solutions, and global solutions do require global coherence, and global coherence requires global intimacy. And global intimacy does require a shared story of value. And then we begin to see something simple and profound. The way in which this future that we long for, that we ache for, that we know is possible, needs a shared direction. The shared direction needs that resonance, and it grows from intimacy. So here we are practicing intimacy at the castle, virtually, in our hearts, in our bodies. We can feel it. We can feel it, even in the fragmentation and the confusion, in the sense that we are not quite meeting each other. But when we do, we feel that too. Connection, clarity, movement. And this is why we are here, not only to understand a new story, but to participate in that new story, to become that new story. Wow. So it is personal for each of us. This new story of value, it lives in us. And Marc says, we each have a unique quality of intimacy that is needed by the whole, because the world is not waiting for someone else. The world is actually meeting us right here, right now. And we are not optional. We are needed. So in the chat box, which I don't know where my chat box went, but here, I want you to write, my clarified desire is needed by reality. My clarified desire is needed by reality. Let me see those come in. Talia, Jamie. Oh, goodness. Joycey, Shahat. Look at us. We're in California. We're in Holland. We're in Wisconsin. We're in Israel. We're all over the world. We're in Africa, I thought I saw earlier. Wow. We're in Canada. I'm getting speechless again. Suzette, Lynn. Okay. So we often think change begins with ideas, but Marc brings us deeper. A shared story of value is a shared story of desire. Our code of value is our code of desire. And then something even deeper. We cannot split sense making from sensuality. So even in this moment, as you're listening to me, as the things of your day-to-day life are pressing in on your consciousness, you are sense making. And there is a physicality to that and a soulcality, if I may, to that. Reality is not something we think about, it is something we feel. And at the core of all of that, Eros is value and value is Eros. And when we are in contact with life, with each other, with ourselves, again, we don't ask if life matters. Like right now, I'm not asking if life matters, if my life matters, if your life matters. We feel it. Life matters so immensely, each of us individually. What a gift, what a truth that is to share together in this situation. Like, wow. The chats are still coming. This next process is a guided process. So I'm going to further this opportunity that has been alive here since the very first musical note that came out of our gorgeous Krista Josepha, in this invitation to feel ourselves evermore cross into Homo Amor. And in this guided process, as I got distracted by the birds that just suddenly came down upon my feeders, I will culminate this process into prayer. So, everyone, let us gently close our eyes. And whether you keep them closed or open them throughout this process is up to you. Feel us as we are, our lives, our stories, everything that has shaped us. And now, sense another version of us, even more open, even more alive, even more devoted, even more committed, even more certain of our being needed by all that is, by the infinite intimate, by God. Feel that self. Marc does call this, and Barbara Marx Hubbard does call this Homo Amor. I can feel them both with us now in very real ways. We don't leave behind when we become Homo Amor wisdom. No, we don't. We bring the wisdom and we add outrageous love. This version of us knows our lives matter, and not only our lives, but everyone's life. So, almost like feel your body moving into that alternative universe that we are creating together, that future that is becoming as we become more unified, more interpenetrated, more grounded in the way that we know that we are needed, and that the infinite intimate is here with us, that Barbara is here with us, that Marc is here with us. Feel that aliveness, that warmth, that shared presence, and feel this truth. The transformation of the self is the transformation of the whole. Mm. Mm. It's true. It's not necessarily obvious at all, but it is true. And it's not just true like today or tomorrow or yesterday. It is true infinitely. The transformation of the self is the transformation of the whole. Mm. So, infinite, intimate, you who breathe us from the inside, you who feel us before we feel ourselves. Thank you for thinking us, for desiring us, for needing us. And help us remember that our lives are not small, that our longing is holy, that our love is part of the architecture of reality, and give us the courage to take our seat at the table of history, to feel the whole, to love beyond our own edges. And often at this point, we would bring Leonard Cohen on, but we're not going to bring Leonard Cohen on while we pray. But today, while we pray, I'm going to read a love letter I wrote recently to all of reality. So while I'm doing that, whether your prayers come to the chat box, whether they're one word or many words, or whether you just let it manifest as a feeling inside of you, or you think certain things, let the prayers come forth. And I will read some of the prayers. So I would love it if a few people at least could put those prayers in the chat box. And so here's a love letter I wrote, which is a little precursor to a workshop that I'm going to be giving on Tuesday at Mystery School. So I hope all of you online people will be there because I will be teaching about writing our sacred autobiography and you don't want to miss it. So here is the poem, the outrageous love letter I wrote to reality. The woods open tonight in that quiet way they sometimes do. Not louder, not brighter, just more real. And there, perched like a question mark between worlds, a great horned owl, still, desiring, seeing everything. My dogs paused. I paused. Time did that strange stretching thing where it feels like you've stepped slightly outside of it. There's a kind of lawlessness to moments like this, not laws as rules, but law as in pattern, as in something ancient, moving exactly as it should. Predator and prey, silence and sound, wing and wind. And then there's the wonder, the part that doesn't explain itself, the part that doesn't need to. Just the fact that we get to be here on a small turning planet in a universe that produces owls and eyes that can meet theirs. And now I'll look at the prayers. Krista, I pray for all of humanity to know and to feel the goodness of the infinite intimate in their hearts and act in this world from divine love. I worked on this pace a lot, Sherry, so thank you for saying that you're loving this pace. Suzette, I pray that everyone at the mystery school and those participating feel loved, transformed, and whole. Terry Nelson, I want to sing you a love song. I want to hold you in my arms all night long. Let's just take a moment and feel ourselves holding Terry Nelson in our love. Inika, I pray for ceasefires all over the world. Shahat, she seduces us all. And thank her that she never stops inviting and seducing this longing and yet stubborn habitual creature. Bless you. Thank you. Talia, I pray to live in love and act out my sacred biography for the sake of the whole. And one more, Jamie Long. I pray that humanity finds its way for a future in which we are intimately needed. And we place these prayers, the ones that were internally expressed and the ones that were written in the chat box, and we place them in this field. Our love that wants to break open, our courage that trembles, our longing that refuses to disappear. Living as us, loving as us, becoming the world as us. Amen. Oh, an intimate, infinite. We place all of this in the field. Our longing, our courage, our desire for clarity and devotion to what is real. Receive us, move through us, live as us. So everyone, just feel what is here. For those of you who are in a room with others, you can look around and look into each other's eyes. Is there a little more openness? A little more aliveness? A little more togetherness? And as we feel each other across the globe and in person, as Marc reminds us, if we don't take our seat at the table of history, something essential will not happen. Or we might say, if we do not clarify our desire, something essential in the future cannot emerge. And this is not a pressure. This is dignity. This is love. This is responsibility. We are not here to inherit inherit a life. We are here to feel it, to choose it, to clarify it, until our desires become so true that reality itself trusts us so incredibly deeply. So before I finish, which is coming up very soon, Krista and Eli, one more pressing ourselves onto the lips of the infinite intimate, as it were, in the chat box. Type, I take my seat. If you want to add the other part about at the table of history, you are very welcome to. But just, I take my seat. Inaka, I witness you taking your seat. Renee, I witness you. Suzanne, I witness you. Myra, I witness you. Joycey, I witness you. And I imagine Davey's there also. Lynn, I witness you. Gabby. So we are in this together, whether we're at the castle or not at the castle, online or in person, in our daily lives or at the heart of the revolution. We are in this together. And I just thank you. I bow to each of you. And for those, well, let's just all bow. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your presence and for your shared willingness to become more. And with that, I turn my word to someone else, either Krista.
How could anyone ever tell you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your love is just a miracle, and how deeply we are connected in our soul? How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your love is just a miracle, and how deeply we are connected in our soul? How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your love is just a miracle, and how deeply we are connected in our soul? How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your love is just a miracle, and how deeply we are connected in our soul?
I don't know what to say after that.
Sign
Yeah, yeah. If you want that sort of singing and that sort of depth and that sort of presence and depth of presence, then there's only one place to be this week, which is Mystery School. You can join from anywhere on Earth. There's a link in the chat box waiting for you, calling to you, just as this entire teaching. And I wanted to say, Kristina, that I think my personal favorite part of that whole teaching was the poem. I absolutely love hearing poetry from different people because you hear so much of their uniqueness within it. Like the way that Kristina observes nature and walks through a forest and experiences a forest is captured in that poem, in that string of words. And of course, the entire lineage of cosmoerotic humanism is also captured within those words because it has so much influenced her life and her way of living. So it was gorgeous to be able to hear those two worlds come together. Yeah, I mean, there isn't really much more to say. I think that if you sign up for the mystery school, it's not only Krista singing, but there's also two other amazing musicians who will be accompanying her.
And Dr. Marc Gafni.
Yes. Oh, well, I was building. So you get that experience plus more music, which is just amazing. Plus, you get the experience of Dr. Kristina Kincaid, Dr. Marc Gafni's beautiful partner, doing embodiment practices, helping you bring all these teachings down into your very soul. At the very beginning of this whole episode, I don't know if everyone was on yet, I said that Dr. Marc Gafni was telling us the other day how you're only going to get the results in life if you are able to go all the way. Like going 80%, 70%, 60% isn't going to get you there. And it reminded me of back in the day in like college when one friend would come into the room after a long week of work. And if they were like, oh, guys, you want to go to a party tonight or go hang out? Everyone would kind of look at them and be like, no, I don't want to go. But if someone walks in full heart and they're like, we're partying tonight, then everyone's partying tonight. It doesn't matter. And that is the energy of this week. It's like you come in 100% and it allows you to go to a different space because of that. And of course, it is all led by Dr. Marc Gafni, which being able to be in for 5 days of full immersion is something that you won't find anywhere else on the planet. So be there, sign up,